There are so many memories that I just love it. I love it to be here, and I think the really important is of course the academics. And I remember I have my 3 years at CJ, and through my 3 years I've taken 3 classes from the Project Lead the Way Biomedical Science track, and I just love those classes because those classes not only strengthen my knowledge in the human body system but also allow me to get some exposure in the clinical settings.
I really think that just me dreaming about ministry at CJ and just getting poured into by the staff, just encouraging and walking alongside me as I went to Kairos and led retreats and stuff, I just really think that fostered a seed of ministry in my heart. And I never imagined that I would be going to missions or even to Africa. So CJ just provided a great foundation for my faith, for ministry and service, and just going to church and having a community that's so close-knit just really helped me see the value in that and how I wanted to carry that through each season of life. So
CJ gave me a lot of life skills. CJ taught me how to be in a diverse environment, and CJ taught me not to be scared to use my voice.
I think the rigor of the work and the professionalism with which we had to come prepared for class, and the attention that the teachers took to make sure that all of our papers were correctly formatted, that we were learning the right study habits, really helped me. I felt extremely prepared for college after my first couple classes, and even as I got into more difficult classes, I don't think anything was as hard as the AP classes here at CJ, but I think just being prepared, and the teachers had a lot to do with that.
I always seen myself in that mechanical engineering. It was one of the two, either aerospace or mechanical. Mechanical is more broad. Some classes that helped me do that was the STEM courses. I know I just recently, over the spring semester, I took a solid and modeling class, and we used SolidWorks, and we used that in the engineering classes here. So it was like a little refresher. I already knew how to do some of it, but
it's probably a greater sense in pride in what you do, no matter what it is. Because at CJ, because you felt like you were a part of something special, because everyone here, all the teachers, all the faculty, all the other students, they cared about what they did, and they gave it their all doing the fall play or on their sports team or on student council.
CJ is a school that emphasizes community, and so no matter what I did as a student at CJ, I always felt a sense of encouragement, no matter if it was through teachers, through students, or my friends that I met. All school masses were a fundamental part of my experience at CJ. I think even though I'm not Catholic, there was always a message that I could relate to.
One more time. My capstone experience, I would say, was the first spark in my interest for education and how poverty influences education. The lack of equity and equality in educations within the U.S. and outside of the U.S. And this was my first moment where I was like, I want to go into education and make a difference.
I think the awesome thing about Dayton, Ohio, and how it's crafted me, and specifically CJ, is that I have had foundations of a lifetime, and I've had foundations that have stacked up against many different people. I went to school in Connecticut at Yale. I'm now in San Francisco. You see tons of different backgrounds, and I've never felt like my education is second to any other education out there. So
I love that people from right around here who may not otherwise be able to go to a school like CJ we get that community, and we get to have people of all different backgrounds and stuff. That's so awesome. And I think it's such like a valuable part of the entire CJ experience. So I was a part of the Eagle Ambassador program here, and I had such a fun time getting people to try and come to CJ. I still do that. I'm a tour guide at Xavier too, so that's my wheelhouse. I love it. But I love kind of being so passionate about a school that I get to go and convince other people to come here because it's so awesome.
I was a biology major at my college, and now I'm going on to get my master's in engineering. So all the classes that I took at CJ, I learned a ton about taking notes, how to study for tests, research, and I think a lot of that is unique because I didn't see that in all of my classmates in college, and so I really felt that I had to start on a lot of other people that were still trying to figure that out in the first year of college when I already had learned that here at CJ.
So as I got to law school and even Bowling Green, I was always encouraged. I always felt the need to always have community around me. So I tried to make sure I interacted with different groups of people to ensure that I created that sense of community. My second year, I was the education chair, so I just put in place programs with professors to ensure that all BALSA members knew how to study, how to prepare for a law school, and then just how to network within the Columbus area and then just beyond. And trying to do the same thing now as a prosecutor in Clark County.
I think CJ really challenged me to continue to grow, whether in the classroom or on the rowing team, or I was in student council, and they always just challenged me, like, what's next, how can I keep growing? One thing that actually started my foundation of service was the Little Sips program, and I continued that in college because I just had a love for kids that God had just planted in my heart. So there's actually a mentorship program through Louisville FCA that I got plugged into, and I met with girls one-on-one for 2 years and just read to them and just poured into them and encouraged them.
And I miss learning every day, and even in my job every day I get to learn because I've got to research a new bill, or I've got to research a new policy idea that's coming out of the White House or something coming out of the Senate, and it's cool because I get to learn every day, and I'm like, that's exactly what CJ prepared me for. And one thing that I kind of loved about CJ and what sort of drives me now is that I couldn't be happy doing a job where I wasn't helping people in some way and serving something bigger than me. I couldn't be happy just making money. I think that's actually driven largely by my experience at CJ.
But I think the biggest thing that sticks with me is the diversity and the ability to communicate with anyone. If it's someone of a different race, easy. If it's someone of a different religion, easy. If it's someone of a different sex or of a different sexual orientation, it's never been a problem for me to be able to communicate with somebody and to be fair. And I think CJ really taught me how to do that.
I'm pretty involved in volunteering because from high school I have been volunteering at different hospitals. I had an opportunity to volunteer at Grandview Hospital, and which was really exciting, and it just helps me to get more exposure to the clinical settings. I am a community service chair in 2 of the Honor Society in University of Dayton, and I also am the president in the Healing Hearts, which is a service club particularly for pre-medicine.
Fundamental in helping me think about how do I feel as a citizen of the world, and what are things I care about? And consequentially today, I'm now making a company trying to help people who don't save and invest their money, because those people can't retire, and those people never actually have a way to stop working. And the big ways that CJ helps is 3 things, right? It's the education, and just the core curriculum is really, really strong. Second is the community, and third is they're pushing you to become an adult and start really, really grappling with what are the things you personally believe in, and what are the things that you think are morally just. And that was really, really helpful for me.
But my faith life is the biggest thing that I formed at CJ and then brought with me to college. I went to a Catholic college, but still it was kind of hard. All my friends were from different backgrounds, had different faith lives, and it was a little bit challenging trying to find some people that would want to go to Mass every weekend, but towards the end of my 4 years, all my friends and I would go every Sunday. And
like I said, one of my biggest philosophies now for myself, because of CJ, I think a little bit, is that God has a plan for you, and you are on this earth for a reason, and you've got something to do. The world needs you here, basically, to show up. So I love that feeling.
CJ is such a special place in my heart, first and foremost. When I came to CJ, I was one of the students that didn't have a family connection or a family legacy, and one of the biggest pieces of advice that somebody gave me was to make your mark in whatever way you can. And so I think I learned so many lessons, not only about myself at CJ, academically, professionally, personally, that I want to be able to give back to those students who are just discovering what CJ can offer for the first time, like I was.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to thrive here and for giving us so many incredible experiences and opportunities.
I want to thank you for being able to give me the opportunities that got me to where I am today. And what was so exciting about giving for the first time the $20.12, because that was my graduating year, and it was a great hook. I think that one day I want to be sitting at the table as you're sitting at, as a supporter of this school that has done so much to me. And I honor you all, and I consider you to be an inspiration of what I'd like to do. And
thank you, CJ donors. I appreciate your generosity. It goes such a long way in the students' lives and keeping up with all the things around here. I appreciate you being called to serve and by giving to CJ, and I know that it's going to a really good place. So thank you.
I think your gifts provide students an opportunity to grow in the classroom and to grow as people, which allows them to go off and serve the community in a better way.
I just would like to thank all the contributors to the Chaminade Julienne community. I never would ever think that I would be here where I am today without that, and they just keep pushing forward the support and the goodwill.
Not only are you impacting all of the current students at CJ, but you've also inspired me to give back to the annual fund each year, and I hope to have an impact on the current students as well.
All the things that I've achieved, they happened because of CJ. CJ happened because people donated, because they cared about what this place was crafting in people. Let's make more leaders for the future. I said earlier that there's tons of new problems to solve, and CJ graduates are solving them.
I think that giving back is so important to where you came from, and just to help one other student have the same great experience that I did would mean the world to me, and it means the world to somebody else.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for everything that you've done for us.
Ready?